Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, the Bulldog Show today has 24 topics, so let's get rolling. First, the New York Supreme Court hammered this administration. A Staten Island Supreme Court Justice, Ralph Porzio, ordered city officials, this only applies in New York City, to reinstate and hand back pay to employees who refuse to get the vaccine. He calls the city's vaccine mandate unconstitutional. He specifically hit out at former City Health Commissioner David Chokshi, overstepped his authority. He claims that Mayor Eric Adams' executive order barring performers and athletes, arbitrary and capricious. This was filed by 16 former sanitation department workers who were fired in February. The city law department's appealing the issue. First thing I want to say is that doesn't apply to everybody down here, unfortunately. It does, in a way, but it's not enforceable or effective. Again, Judge Timothy Black over in Cincinnati is not going to follow that decision. Hillary, she told Joe Biden, if he lost in 2020, not to concede the election results. She said it. It's on videotape. If I'm Joe Biden, I do not concede. I mean, she's this election denier. This crazy woman is already saying in 2024 that the Republicans are trying to steal the election. My God, it never ends. Well, there was a debate last night in Pennsylvania, and you know what? The people want to hear debates, but I cannot believe, maybe they thought like they would surely lose if he didn't debate. But it was bad. I mean, he starts out the debate by saying hello and good night to everybody. I mean, it's just awful. The guy's a stroke victim running for United States Senate. I think Dr. Oz will now obviously be elected. My sweet Lord, neat little pop culture piece here. George Harrison is my favorite Beatle. My song is What Is Life. That was my going out when I did my radio show song. And he commented, and I remember on this documentary, My Sweet Lord was risky because he's talking about God and Jesus and the Lord. And it was his first #1 single. And he said he wrote it because all the people that were just hanging out and not doing anything. He goes, this boogieing around. I mean, brave. And just tells you how courage sometimes can really pay off. George Harrison, the Beatle, singing My Sweet Lord. It's a great song. Tobacco and booze. The American public has spoken. Everybody believes, as I do too, that tobacco and alcohol is worse for you than pot. It is. It's worse. But yet we don't have legalization of pot. Remember, I am the only candidate running for Kentucky governor who supports the legalization of pot, people over 21, period. Mark Kelly staffer busted on a recording saying he has to play it both ways on the border. Man, we all know this, don't we? Politicians. There was a debate last night in Michigan between Dixon and Whitmer. Whitmer tried to act like the Michigan schools being shut down wasn't her fault. It was her Department of Education. Dan Bulldog, he is a guy that Trump endorsed. He is within striking distance in New Hampshire. Good old Mitch McConnell pulled money, but now they've put another $1 million of Republicans' money in it. All right, then the New York had a debate too. Man, this guy is closing fast. Lee Zeldin against Hochul. Hochul was another one that said, crime is just an emotion. How we all feel about it is an emotion. That we're all really safe, that we emotionally don't feel safe. I mean, what the hell? These people are nuts. Scary serial killer. This guy apparently killed 70 people. You know who's blown the whistle on him? He died in 2013. His daughter, who apparently the kids helped dispose of the bodies in a pit. Weird. Andrew and Harry. It's been drawn up. Apparently they're going to keep getting pushed out. And they're going to get to blame the Queen because they're claiming the Queen approved all this before she died. You know what? Charles and William are not going to allow Andrew and Harry to take down, and Meghan, of course, take down the monarchy in England. Good for them. Ukraine peace letter. The Squad had 30 people sign a letter encouraging the Biden administration to go out and talk peace with Russia. And it got yanked because the Democrats, well, this is a bad timing. This makes us all look bad. So in other words, the crazy peacemakers got shot down by all the warmongers. The progressives, the crazy Squad had something right. Brittany Griner, she lost her appeal in Russia. She's facing 9 years in prison there. Old Joe Biden getting his 5th booster shot yesterday. Says they're in touch with Russia about a prisoner swap, but it's not going good. You know what the latest for Joe Biden is? They're proposing grocery coupons if you get vaxxed more. You believe it? Grocery. People who are not getting vaxxed aren't dying. People that have been vaxxed are having all kinds of health issues. Woke capitalism. A former executive from Levi Strauss says the corporate boardroom is just full of woke capitalism. No kidding. By the way, who talked about all this first? It was 2 years ago when I coined the phrase the American Communist 10. I created a chart which we're going to put up, and it's still going. The American Communist 10. Corporate America, woke, 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 woke. Totally against the grain of American values. Inflation, 73% of Americans aren't just concerned. They're not just a little concerned. They're very concerned about inflation. See you, Democrats. This is funny. The Weinstein lawyer called the governor of California's wife just another bimbo. It's terrible. But it's funny, of course, because Newsom and Weinstein fighting is fun to watch. In Austin, the 911 staffing shortage is so bad that somebody died last night of a heart attack. You know? See, you don't, the collateral damage of defunding the police, it even carries over to 911. Good old Joe Biden mispronounced the new prime minister of Great Britain. He called him Rishi Sunak. And in Karine Jean-Pierre, this lady just keeps messing up. Word jumbos around. Has no clue. Can you imagine the person you have speaking to the American press every day is so immature, ill-informed, unequipped, unskilled, and you send her out there because she's a black gay woman? That matters more than talent. Saudis and good old Joe battling. And even Neil Cavuto's jumping in on the old Joe Biden side. Neil Cavuto of Fox News is twisting this around, making it sound like, well, that's Saudi. That's a slap at the American public, not just Joe Biden. Hey, they didn't have a problem with the American public when Donald Trump was president. It's Joe Biden. And last but not least, there's people picking on the Karate Kid for being too white. Good thing for Ralph Macchio. He's picking, defending the Karate Kid. Good for him. So it's it's part of its times. You believe that? Too white. It's like a movie just can't have white people in anymore. Well, I can see movie producers now in Hollywood. Well, we need 10 black people. We need 5 Asians. By the way, Karate Kid, a lot of Asians in there. Mr. Miyagi, that's not good enough. It's like the Squad. He's too close to being white as an Asian, I guess. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.